if you love your money and you love your business, you don't want to ever get stuck with an abandoned project, then stay away from a very slopey land. I'm talking about those very slopey land where the difference in height from one end to the other end is over 6 meters. Those are the kind of lands I'm talking about. Anything that has a difference from 1 meter to 3 meters is very okay. I'm going to be sharing an experience with you. Take a look at this retaining wall. This is one of our projects in Asokoro. We are still in the construction stage. We are just about to do the first floor decking for all of these buildings that you can see here. So far, we have spent 120 million naira on this particular retaining wall. Yesterday, I had to go and sit down and begin to look at all of the costs that we have incurred on this particular retaining wall. And I discovered that we have spent 120 million naira on this particular retaining wall. The overall height of the retaining wall is 6.5 meters. This is equivalent of the height of 1-story building. That's from the DPC to the headroom. Now imagine if that 120 that was spent on this retaining wall was spent on these buildings. These buildings would have gone very far, but that money was spent on this retaining wall. Now you see why it is very important that you have to get your analysis well as a real estate developer. Now you can't do this kind of project in places like Lugbe, Kubwa or Kuje or even Lokogoma. You can't try this kind of project in these locations. You will get stuck with that project and it will be difficult for you to get your money back because all of the money that you'd have used in developing the project has been spent on the retaining wall. The reason why we had to go ahead with this project is because this particular project is located in Asokoro. Asokoro is one of the posh places in the city of Abuja, which is why we still had to go ahead with this kind of project. Now, the secret to it is that when you do projects that have this kind of retaining wall in places like Asokoro, you won't really feel it much because the big boys who stay in Asokoro actually understand the value of what you're putting out. And so you can afford to spread that cost on all the project and you'll be able to recover your money back. Take for instance, one of these units is being sold for 500 million naira. And you know what? Somebody has bought one already. So that money has been channeled back into the project. But if you go and do projects like this in places like Lugbe or Kuba or maybe Gogolada, the people living in these particular locations do not understand the value of what you are putting on ground, and so nobody will be able to pay you 500 million naira for a fully detached duplex in places like Lugbe or Kuba. Eventually you will discover that so much money has been spent on the project, but it is difficult selling the product because that location wasn't the best location for that kind of project. So as a real estate developer, when taking